These are perhaps the most eye-catching desktop monitors I've ever tested, and they're by one of my favourite audio brands, Edifier. They even have a hidden secret that makes these some of the most useful desktop speakers, as well as the most standout that we've had on the channel. These are the QR65s, and you can't seriously tell me that you've seen speakers that look cooler than these. The optical illusion of a cavernous void inside the speaker is just bonkers. It's created using the infinity mirror trick, which is where light is placed between two mirrors, with the external one being a two-way mirror which allows you to see into the compartment. But the light then is essentially reflected over and over again on the two internal mirror faces, creating this depth illusion when looking through the two-way mirror. Typically with the infinity mirror optical illusion, the brighter the light, the deeper the void looks, and at the brightest setting you can see around a depth of 9 repeating rings before it sort of fades into the darkness, which isn't the deepest optical illusion, but it's enough to create a fantastic eye-catching effect. This is just such a fantastic illusion to see used in a form factor as a pair of desktop speakers, and whoever came up with this idea is a mad genius and deserves a pay rise, because this effect, paired up with the fact that the light ring is fully customizable in colour and effect, makes these speakers look so incredibly cool. In the app, you've got a bunch of different settings that you can play around with for lighting styles. At the top, you can select from a number of preset colours, and on the bottom, a number of preset effects. Some of them even offer further control, although perhaps not as much as I'd like. So for example, in the light flow option, I only have the ability to select between two colour sets, whereas the other effects, like the stacked option, I have the ability to change the colour completely, just like in the static mode where you've got full spectrum control. But these lighting effects amount to a really mesmerising visual experience that's unlike anything I've seen on a speaker so far. And it's not just the front that I think is well designed though. I think the whole package is actually really refined. Possibly some of the nicest speaker that Edifier have designed to date. The rest of the design is simplistic and understated, which I think complements the jaw-dropping infinity mirror front. Now the outside is wrapped with a faux leather along with an accented gunmetal grey surround and control panel. Interestingly, this control panel features a selector and a volume control, which is largely normal, but instead of something like a bass or treble dial, they've included a lighting dial to make changes to the lighting effects on the front or turn them off completely. Slightly unusual choice, but it's not the end of the world because you can change the sound profiles in the Edifier app. And talking about the sound, it's all very well and good, catching the attention of everyone that walks into a room with this incredible appearance. But they also need to sound good too. And I am very pleased to say that not only are these some of the best looking speakers that Edifier have ever made, they're possibly some of the best sounding speakers too. Now with the classic sound profile straight out of the box, they have that distinctive yet slightly warm tone to them, which is super typical of Edifier products and one of the main reasons that I love Edifier kit. The sound profile just resonates with my personal taste in audio. Obviously it's subjective and you have your own preference, but for me it's fantastic. In fact, all of the sound that you heard at the very beginning was recorded live off these speakers using the Sennheiser shotgun mic I've got up here at the moment. And as always, I filmed the first time that I listened to them so you can get my initial impressions. Hey, not bad. Right, let's crank it up a little bit. Not bad bad at all. Alright, let's try a different song. Not bad at all. In fact, very good. Now obviously that was the classic sound profile in the app, but there's also a few other modes such as monitor, game, vocal and full customization to get the equalization that you find most suitable for either your preference or type of audio that you'd be listening to. They're also high-res audio certified and support LDAC, which adds to the overall quality. So for the sound, I must say that they've been really impressive, and that includes the volume, which despite their slim profile, they seem to manage to throw out some solid sound. Right, let's go max volume. Wow. What I quite like is when you change the volume as well. I don't know if you can see that, but it shows the volume of the speakers when you change the volume on your phone. That's quite fun. Now the sound itself can be played through a number of different inputs. On the rear you've got RCA and USB connectivity, along with a sub out if you need some extra bass. It also has Bluetooth to stream audio from your phone, and hold that thought because there's something important about that which I'll come back to very shortly. But for now, in that last shot of the back, you may have noticed something else. The QR65's hidden secret I mentioned at the start. The Edifier QR65s have a small array of gallium nitride charging ports. This is such a good idea. Adding a few fast charging ports to the back of the speaker, it just frees up USB ports on my desktop and gives me fast charging for all of my devices, including my MacBook, as the USB-C output supports 65 watt output. This is just such a useful little addition, and I wish more devices that are powered by mains electricity had things like this built in to offer more flexibility, but they just don't. I'm sure this isn't the first time that chargers have been included on speakers, but this is certainly the first time I've seen a selection of GaN chargers with this level of output. And the fact that these charging ports use gallium nitride, it makes these charging ports faster, more efficient, and run a lot cooler than traditional chargers. So how cool is that? No pun intended. Or was it? Now, these might be the coolest speakers that Edifier have ever made, but they are among the most expensive. I've gotten hold of these quite early, so they aren't readily available everywhere. But the places that have these for sale currently have these listed at £329, which is a lot more than I expected. I'll drop a link below if I've managed to find them cheaper elsewhere. But the thing is, like I've said about Edifier products recently, certainly, their prices have increased somewhat. It's understandable, certainly from a business aspect, where we have to consider that the price of everything has gone up drastically in the last few years. We only need to take a look at the Freddo index to see this. The cost of a Freddo chocolate bar has increased nearly threefold in the last decade. But the real question is, do I think the QR65s warrant their higher than expected price tag? And the short answer is yes. There's simply nothing out there like these, and they also come with free monitor stands to help position the speakers so that they project the sound towards my ears when on the desk rather than my nipples. And who doesn't love free stuff? Although on the flip side, I would have perhaps preferred it if they'd done monitor stands that match the colour of the speaker or the gunmetal grey surround or control panel, rather than being quite a different aluminium colour. I think it would have just tied the whole appearance together slightly better. But then again, you should never look a gift horse in the mouth, so I probably should just be grateful that they've given a lot more than other brands do. But despite how much I love these, there are still a few other things that I think could be improved upon for future iterations. The main one would be the way these connect to change and customize the lighting effects. Now, if you've got these hooked up to your computer, you've still got to whip your phone out, connect them to the Bluetooth, then load up the Edifier Connect app, and then, and only then, can you change the light bands and colours. Yes, you've got some rudimentary control with the control panel, but it's pretty simplistic. Now, this is fine, but I think it would be a much more seamless experience if they could bring out a desktop-compatible app, considering that these will predominantly be used as desktop speakers. I think it could open up for a ton of new functionality for them too, such as the ability to sync them up and react to whatever's on the screen perhaps, or even extend the colours, or even do something like act as notifications for various things on the computer. I just think there's a lot of opportunity and a bit of a missed trick here. And lastly, the colour selector in the app appears not to 100% match the colour of the light ring. It can be a few shades off. It's not that you can't get the colour you want, it has full spectrum control as I showed earlier. It just seems a little off in terms of its sync, and you're almost better off looking at the speakers and then sort of blindly swizzling around the colour selector to make sure that you get the exact colour that you want. But other than those few things, I would genuinely like to congratulate Edifier on these speakers. I would go as far as saying that these are possibly the best speakers Edifier have ever made. And that's because they blend excellent sound quality with interesting new features such as the inbuilt GAN chargers, and then package it in what I think is the most unique design I've ever seen in a set of desktop monitors. And although they're bonkers, they just work. What do you guys think of this design? Are they cool or are they not? Have you ever seen a set of desktop monitors that draw attention as much as these? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. And if you want to see more Edifier episodes, why not check out our review of the Neobuds Pro 2, which we tested the noise cancellation of by taking it to one of the largest waterfalls in Wales. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.